everybody, my name is Cotline3639. Welcome back to another video. Today, and this one's going to be another dueling video, and in this one, it's going to be P.U.N.K Tearalments taking on Swordsoul. Yes, we have finally entered the new format of Power of the Elements, and in this video, we will be showing off a new archetype from that set, Tearalments. If you don't know what they do, they're basically fusion summon based. So basically they do a lot of milling because a lot of their monster effects will trigger in graveyard. If they're sent to the graveyard, they will trigger to attempt a fusion summon. They're very generic, so they can fusion summon basically anything. And since you're doing a lot of milling in the deck as well, you're also throwing the punks in here just so you can get more mills off of Pepega Roller and stuff like that. Very interesting deck, and it should be one of the best decks in the next format. And then Swordsoul. Everyone knows what Swordsoul is. It just won the Nationals here in North America. Everyone knows what it's doing. It's been out for nearly a year now, which is very surprising. So yeah, it's attempting just to synchro summoning and get a blackout and stuff like that. Everyone knows what Swordsoul does. So yeah, without further ado, let's get straight into the video. So the P.U.N.K Tearalments player will be on the bottom, while the Swordsoul player will be on the top. Swordsoul player did win rock, paper, scissors, so we'll choose to go first for the Swordsoul player. Looking at the starting hands here, we'll start off with the P.U.N.K Tearalments player who drew Gamma, Emergency Teleport, Snow, Ash, and Squamata. Again, Snow and Squamata are probably bricks. You probably don't want to see them, but you know, having Gamma and Ash for going second is always nice, plus the E-Telly as well. Swordsoul player drew Desires, Ash, Moye, a second Desires, and Emergence. Besides, you know, the double Desires, it's not a bad hand for the Swordsoul player either. So we'll go ahead and go with standby main phase here. We'll go ahead and activate Emergence, which immediately gets Ash Blossom. We'll follow that up with Pot of Desires. This will go through because Ash is no longer there, which draws a Virtuous and a Heavenly Dragon Circle. Not bad draws off the Desires there. We'll normal summon the Virtuous, trigger the effect there to go ahead and special summon out Moye. We'll trigger Moye effect, reveal the Moye from hand to summon a token, or well, attempt to respond with Gamma, and then the Swordsoul player will actually respond with Ash there to prevent the Gamma from going through. So we'll summon out the token here, and then we'll go ahead and go into a synchro summon of Grandmaster. We'll go Grandmaster Chainlink 1, Moye Chainlink 2, making that Gamma pretty much worthless, so the P.U.N.K player will let it go through. So we'll go ahead and draw a long one and then search a blackout. Now, a long one isn't bad, but we do know the player has Gamma, so we'll just set 3 cards and pass back to the P.U.N.K Tearalments player, who draws into Driver. That is very unfortunate. So we'll go ahead, we'll go into main phase 1 here. We'll go ahead and actually start off with a normal summon of Snow, trigger the effect to attempt to Book of Moon the Grandmaster. Grandmaster will just respond to it to negate the effects there. And then we'll go ahead and activate Emergency Teleport here to special summon out a Zen Admin from deck. And then on resolution, we'll go ahead and activate Blackout, targeting the Grandmaster, Zen Admin, and Snow there. And then we'll actually respond to that with Heavenly Dragon Circle, tributing the Grandmaster to go ahead and search out a Taya just for a little bit more follow-up there. But it does pop the hole in field. We'll pass back to the Swordsoul player who draws into Talents. That's not a bad draw when your opponent, you know your opponent's on Gamma. We'll go Taya effect, banishing the Blackout to summon a token here. We'll attempt to Gamma here, and that will go through. So Gamma will special summon itself out and the Driver in hand. We'll go ahead and do Blackout effect in the banish, since it was banished, to summon a token onto field there. We'll go ahead and do triple tack to look at hand. It's just a Squamata. Now the Swordsoul player knows he's versing no negations here. We'll just go ahead and do the Heavenly Dragon Circle effect to search a Tenny. And we have seen enough as well. That is game 1. Again, just drawing the bricks for the P.U.N.K Tearalments player is pretty bad. You know, drawing Driver, Squamata, and Snow isn't ideal for that deck. And the Swordsoul player being able to, you know, play around the Gamma as much as possible as well was very nice. So we'll go into game 2 here. And the P.U.N.K Tearalments player will choose to go first, and will show off what this deck can do. So we'll go ahead and look at the starting hands here. We'll start off with the P.U.N.K Tearalments player who drew Ash, Rhino Heart, Shaolin, Emergency Teleport, and Gamma. You know, the 2 same hand traps again, but you know, this time you actually drew some Tearalments cards, especially going first is pretty nice. And for the Swordsoul player, drew a Moye, a Pod of Desires, Forbidden Droplet, Infinite Impermanence, and a Gamma. You know, having 2 hand traps plus the Droplet is always very, very nice. So we'll go ahead and go standby main phase here. We'll go ahead and start off with Emergency Teleport. That will special summon out a Zen Admin from deck. And then we'll go ahead and trigger Zen Admin, paying 600 to search a P.U.N.K card. and this will go through, so we'll search a Foxy Tune here. And then we'll go ahead and then do Foxy Tune effect here, sending himself as cost. Swordsoul player, that says that's good, so we'll send Rhino Heart for the effect, and then special summon out Deer Note. And since Rhino Heart was sent to the graveyard by card effect, we'll do Rhino Heart effect there to attempt a special, and then dump a Terra Element from hand. So we'll go ahead and special out the Rhino Heart, dump Shaolin. Since that was all effect, we'll go ahead and do Shaolin Chainlink 1 to Fusion Summon, and then Rhino Heart Chainlink 2 to attempt to dump a Terra Element monster. So we'll go ahead and dump Miru off Rhino Heart, and then Shaolin will shuffle itself and the Miru that was just dumped to go ahead and special summon Terra Element Kit. I'm not going to try to say its full name, so I'm just going to call it Kit. So we'll special summon out Terra Element Kit, trigger the effect to attempt to search or dump a Terra Element card. We'll just search out a Terra Element Solic. We'll go into a Pepega Ruler here, and we'll go Chaos Ruler Chainlink 1, Deer Note Chainlink 2, targeting the Zen Admin. We'll go Imperm Chainlink 3 on the Pepega Ruler to avoid the mills, and we'll special summon out Zen Admin here. We'll go ahead and actually make Lambda here, kind of giving away what the P.U.N.K Terra Element player has in hand, but wants to take advantage of that Gamma in hand. We'll set the Solic and pass back to the Swordsoul player, who draws into the Virtuous, which is not a bad draw. So we'll go ahead and activate Pawn Desires here, banishing 10. The P.U.N.K Terra Element player responds with Ash, Swordsoul responds with Gamma, and P.U.N.K Terra Element player responds with Gamma as well. But this is all illegal because the Swordsoul player actually ended up banishing Driver, so Gamma was an illegal activation. So both Gammas will go back to hand, and Ash will resolve, negating the Pawn Desires. On resolution, we'll do Droplet, send the worthless Gamma to negate the Lambda, which kind of sucks, but it's all right. You still have some negations for the P.U.N.K Terra Element player here. So we'll go ahead and actually think for the Swordsoul player, but eventually we'll go and special summon the Virtuous from hand, and then he will normal summon Moye without the effect, and then we'll actually synchro summon here, since they both can synchro summon there. So we'll go ahead and actually summon Berserker of the Tenyi. We'll trigger Moye effect to draw one card from the deck here. Is a Nibiru, not a ideal draw. We'll go Battle Phase. In the start of battle, we'll trigger Terra Element Solic effect. So its effect will attempt to negate the Berserker of the Tenyi and then dump a Terra Element from the field to the graveyard. And that will go through. So on res, we'll do Kid effect, since it was sent to the graveyard by the card effect, to mill 5. And the mill 5s end up being all worthless. It's basically all hand traps. Double Veiler, Ghost Orc, Ash, and Terraforming. You're really hoping a Terra Element gets milled there, but it did not happen there. So we'll just go battle. We'll attack Berserker over the Lambda. He will take 1300. Now this should be a little bit more because Lambda is getting halved there because of Droplet, but both players did forget. So we'll go main phase 2, pass back to the P.U.N.K Terra Element player, who draws into Hoffins, which is pretty bad because Hoffins is really the only Terra Element that doesn't really do anything during your turn. It's only opponent's turn that it does something. So it doesn't really do anything right now, so we'll actually go ahead and do Pepega Ruler affecting Graveyard, banishing Ghost Orc and Kent. We will attempt to banish it with Berserker. That cannot happen because Solic does permanently negate. So Chaos Ruler will summon out here. We'll just go battle, crash into the Berserker, and then we'll go attack directly with Rhino Heart for 15 and just hope the Swordsoul player avoids a good top deck here. Who draws into Talents, which, yeah, that doesn't do anything, so we'll pass back to the Terra Element player, who draws into Rhoda, and that will basically get things going. We'll search out Rhino Heart off the Rhoda here. And then we'll go ahead and normal summon the Rhino Heart, effect to dump a Terra Element monster from deck, and we'll dump a Miru here. We'll do Miru effect in graveyard to attempt to fusion summon. That does get allowed. We'll do Miru from graveyard, and then a Rhino Heart on field to go into Kit. We'll go ahead and trigger Kit effect to either search a Terra Element or dump a Terra Element. We'll search a Shaolin. We'll go ahead and do Shaolin effect here. We'll special limit itself out and then dump Hoffins. Mill 3. We'll mill Squamata, which is nice. So we'll go Hoffins Chainlink 1, Squamata Chainlink 2. We'll dump Shadal Beast and then shuffle Hoffins, shuffle Squamata, and then we'll special summon out a Winda here. We'll do Beast effect to draw one card. Is a Galaxy Cyclone. We'll go battle, and this is all lethal under Nibiru, which is very nice. Swordsoul player will take some damage just to make sure it is lethal, and it is lethal, so he will see enough from game 2. Kind of tough for the Swordsoul player, being, banishing the driver there. Kind of sucked. You kind of would want that Gamma to still be live, but did not work out in his favor, unfortunately. So that's unfortunate, but we now go into the all-important game 3. Both players know what they're versing against, so hopefully we can have an exciting game 3 here. And of course, Swordsoul player will choose to go first here. And let's look at the starting hands for both players. The P.U.N.K Tearalments player drew a field spell, Miru, Foxy Tune, Heartbeast Feather Duster, and Emergency Teleport. Not a bad hand, to be honest with you. And then the Swordsoul player drew a Droplet, Heavenly Dragon Circle, Pot of Desires, Long One, and the Virtuous Ecclesia as well. So Swordsoul player playing against no hand traps here. We'll go activate Pot of Desires here. Of course, this will go through here. Draw 2 cards, which ends up being Adhara and Taya, not bad draws. We'll normal summon the Virtuous, trigger the effect here to go ahead and special summon out Moye. We'll do Moye effect, reveal the Adhara from hand. That will special summon out a token here. And then we'll go ahead and actually go Long One effect here. We'll actually pitch the Taya from hand. You think he's maybe playing around the Baron here, or playing around Nibiru to summon out Baron. No, he's just getting a little greedy here. He goes into the evil Long One here. And we'll go ahead and do Long One effect in graveyard to inflict 12, and then make a Grandmaster. We'll go ahead and do Moye Chainlink 1, Evil Long One Chainlink 2, and then the Grandmaster Chainlink 3. So we'll get ahead and search a Blackout, and then get a Pot of Greed here. The draws end up being a Virtuous and a Long One. Nothing doing this turn because they were both activated this turn already. We'll go ahead and set 3, and we'll pass back to the P.U.N.K Tearalments player, who draws into the Instant Fusion, which is pretty nice. Nothing into the standby phase here, so we'll go main phase. Start off with the Heartbeast Feather Duster, and this will be going through. So that's unfortunate for the Swordsoul player. We'll go ahead and go Emergency Teleport here. We'll special summon out the Zay Admin, and then Evil Long One here will attempt to banish the Zay Admin, which goes through, so we'll inflict the 1200 as well. We'll normal summon the Miru, trigger its effect. We will met with Grandmaster there to negate it. So basically all you're playing around right now is the Evil Long One's banish a spell trap. So we'll go ahead and activate the Instant Fusion, paying 1,000, summon out the Kit here. And then we'll trigger Kit effect to search or dump a Tearalments card. We'll search Rhino Heart here. And then we'll go ahead and do Kit effect here. Target itself and attempt to special summon a Tearalments from grave or hand. So it sends itself, and then special Rhino Heart will go Kit Chainlink 1, Rhino Heart Chainlink 2. So Rhino Heart will dump a Miru first, and then the mill 5s being Valor, Dark Ruler No More, Foxy Tune, Deerno, and Zay Admin. There goes your P.U.N.K engine, basically. We'll do Miru effect in graveyard here. We'll shuffle back Kit himself and a Rhino Heart. Will summon a Kaleido Heart. We'll trigger the Kaleido Heart effect since it was special summon. Target the Evil Long One and shuffle it back into the deck. We'll do now the field spell since that is off the field. We'll search a Hoffins here. And then we'll just go ahead, go battle, beat over the Grandmaster, and then attack for 800 for a total of 1,000 damage. And we will pass back to the Swordsoul player, who will draw into an Emergence, which is a very nice draw, has a very nice hand to try to break this board here. So we'll go ahead and special summon out the Virtuous, which will trigger its effect, and then we'll chain it with Hoffins here. So Hoffins will special summon himself out, and then mill 3 here. His mills being Shaolin, Miru, and Solak, which is all very nice mill for Tearalments. So we'll special summon out Moye. So we'll go Chainlink 1 Moye, reveal the Adhara. Then we'll go Chainlink 2 Solak, Chainlink 3 Miru, and Chainlink 4 Shaolin. Very big chain here. So we'll resolve the Shaolin here, which will shuffle himself out, and shuffle himself back, and the Miru on field to go ahead and special Kit, and then we'll resolve the Miru in graveyard, shuffling himself, and the Hoffins on field, and we'll just make another Kit off of it. And then we'll go ahead and, actually, he forgets to resolve Solak. Solak is supposed to search a Tearalments from deck to hand, but he does forget to resolve it, so, that is unfortunate. New chain here, we'll do Kit effect Chainlink 1, and then the field spell Chainlink 2, targeting Moye to pop. So that will pop, and then Kit will either search or dump a Tearalments. He will dump Hoffins, will trigger Hoffins effect Chainlink 1, Kaleido Heart Chainlink 2 to attempt to shuffle the token back into the deck here. And then we'll shuffle back one of the Kit and the Hoffins in graveyard to summon out a Predaplant Dragostapelio. So that's it for everything there. So Swordsoul player still has not committed his normal summon and still has a lot to do. So we'll go ahead and special summon the Adhara, and then we'll go ahead and then link off the Adhara, go into the Monk of the Tenyi here. We'll trigger the Heavenly Dragon Circle, we'll search the Ashuna, and then special Ashuna. And then we'll go ahead and link into a Monk of the Tenyi. Now, he actually takes this back, but eventually does go back to the Monk of the Tenyi play. And then we'll go Ashuna effect, special summon Fishuda. And then we'll go into a link to of a Shaman. We'll do Fishuda effect in graveyard to spin back the Dragostapelio. Now, basically playing against no negations, we'll go ahead and now trigger Long One, sending the Emergence from hand. And then we'll special summon out the Long One. We'll go into a synchro summon of Big Boy Swordsoul here, the Supreme Sovereign. Long One will inflict 1200 here, and then we'll go ahead and activate Adhara effect to add back Ashuna. Since we did banish, we'll trigger the Supreme Sovereign effect to banish a card on field and engrave. So we'll banish the Kaleido Heart that's on field, and we'll just banish the Solic in graveyard. We'll go ahead and go to battle, and this is lethal because Supreme Sovereign is gaining a shit ton because of the banished cards and also reducing the attack of everything on the field as well. So that is lethal. What a game. Swordsoul player does take it out here, and just so you can see the omit defeat screen here, just if I could skip to it, it would have drawn into terraforming, which would have been okay, but that is lethal. Swordsoul player ends up taking it for the day. So yeah, the Tearalments player kind of showed off what it can do. It can do a lot. It did a lot during his turn, but the Swordsoul player just had enough to play through everything. So yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, leave a like and subscribe for more content on the channel, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.